He warned him that his sons were not going to make any sort of compromise under the influence of the whole place. Sanjaya therefore informed the king that his son Duryodhana, after seeing the military force of the Pandavas, try a different one. Hi. Sanjaya therefore informed the king that his son, Duryodhana, after seeing the military force of the Pandavas, at once went to the commander-in-chief Dronacharya to inform him of the real position. Although Duryodhana is mentioned as the king, he still had to go to the commander on account of the seriousness of the situation. He was therefore quite fit to be a politician. But Duryodhana's diplomatic veneer could not disguise the fear he felt when he saw the military arrangement of the Pandavas. So, this is our tendency, material tendency, is to size up a situation through our mind and our senses. And we think we can do this, or we think that person's like this, or whatever. And a beautiful word called respect, that if we do respect others, not accepting any respect for ourselves, it's one of the characteristics needed in order to perfect the spiritual life, to always chant the holy name easily and use easily and yeah, I'll get it hopefully. Anyway, so respect, what does it mean? Respect means to re-see. Respect. To re-see. So instead of just, I see, yeah, I already get it, I see it. Yeah, I did the Bhakti Paramesvara program, did that, done that. How many people in Sankirtan you meet like that? They go, oh yeah, I did the Hare Krishna thing, yeah. It's like, did you get it, bro? No, you didn't get it. Or no offense, I mean, you get some people from different lands. I know the Bhagavad Gita. Well, what does it say? Yeah, you got Rama trying to kill Arjuna and on the in Dwarka. It's like, hey, sorry, you haven't really read Bhagavad Gita. So, and our friends, we size up people. We size up a guru even, maybe, through our mind and senses. Ooh, watch out. Watch out, right? We're not supposed to do these things. Or whatever, or a person on the street, you're performing Sankirtan. This guy's not going to take a book, or whatever it might be. So we want to develop this respect. Otherwise, we're going to just think through our mind and senses, we're going to assess things. And here, we have the great king, Dhritarashtra, assessing things from a materialistic standpoint. But when we bring in the ultimate factor, as Brigapati, the great book distributor, always says, you got to consider the ultimate factor. And what's that ultimate factor? Starts with a K. Krishna. Yeah. So Krishna is the ultimate determining factor. In fact, it always shocks me, this place, from the outside, the Brahmacharya ashram at least, and when you go inside too, it's austere. You think, yeah, wow. I mean, it's cool. I like it, actually. I like austerities, but, there's no tantalizing experience. But within 5-10 minutes, this happens every time I'm here, I just get this feeling like, this is so wonderful. It's so nice to be here. I just immediately get that feeling, like I'm home, like everything's cool here. Everything's wonderful here, not just cool, everything's wonderful here. I mean, you go into the Brahmacharya ashram, it's like, could use some work, And But at the same time, I'm just going, I feel great here. Everything's going. Why? Because what's that? Krishna factor is there. He's in every single atom. He's in charge of everything. Not a blade of grass moves without his sanction. So this factor, Duryodhana is not taken in consideration. He's thinking by brute force. We got more people, we got a bigger army, we got better this and that, all material abilities. We've got Bhishma here, Bhishma. So, and there's the little guys, these Pandavas guys. But there's a certain sense that, like when Lord Chaitanya was young, he was a boy. And everybody that came across him, because he was a great scholar, he's the greatest scholar. And he completely annihilated everybody in scholarly abilities. Completely annihilated them while giving them the sense of dignity at the same time, with respect. Annihilated. So anybody that walked by him or near him had this feeling of great respect, but also fear, in a sense. Not in a bad way, fear, but like, we're dealing with something severe here. Like, what is Putana? She came in, great witch, disguising herself as a beautiful woman, came in, put some poison on her nipple and to breastfeed Krishna and kill him. But she had this feeling like, this person can annihilate the entire cosmos. This being is extremely powerful. I remember when I first joined, oh my God, I wanted to see God. I refused to do anything but see God. I was just, I don't know, just where I was at. And I remember I would do anything just to see God. And they got me washing pots and so forth and so on. And all of a sudden I came in contact with this energy. And it completely blew my mind. I mean, I remember having fear like never before. Not in a bad way fear, but just like, oh my, because I kind of prided myself in being kind of powerful, in a sense. And other people aren't. I'm the most powerful one, or whatever. Maybe not to that degree, but, younger guy I was then, and a lot of people think this way. And then I came in contact. I remember like hitting a brick wall with the power of Krishna. By the way, I'm not powerful. I'm the lowest and weakest of the bit I've learned from Bhakti Yoga, which is a wonderful place to be. But back then I thought differently. And so I'm trying not to be an arrogant jerk anymore, at least, although I still am. But anyway, sorry. So the point is that Krishna's power is unlimited. I came in contact with the powerhouse, the source of all power, that can give you more power or less power. I mean, ladies aren't probably so much interested in power, but the guys kind of have an interest in this kind of stuff. Can give you $1 billion, take away $1 billion immediately. You can think, you can size up things, but immediately the Krishna factor's there, and you can just tweak things immediately and control the whole situation. We have, individual that thinks he can take over a country. 2 days was expected. No. Krishna can arrange anything. Bunch of rain, tanks get stuck in mud, whatever, anything. Anything can be arranged. So this we learn on Sankirtan, actually. We learn that Krishna is a person, and Krishna is the ultimate controlling factor. And we can't do anything about it. We can't control Krishna. I remember being so furious because Vijay, I had a great world minister, book distributor. Him and I, he was at this campus, and I showed up at the same campus, and he was upset about that a little bit. I mean, he's a wonderful soul. I'm not trying to say anything weird about that situation. Gorni Tai Ki Jai. And he said, you got to move out of this area. So in this other area, man, it was tough. So no problem. Oh, that's a good idea. Well, you have intelligence. That's fantastic. So I tried distributing books, and I was having the worst time. I was having such a difficult time, and I gotta prove to Vijay Prabhu that I'm great. You know, that's what I was thinking. You know, I gotta show him up. You know, and nobody would, even if I tried to approach somebody, they'd turn the other way and go away. Like, it was the strangest thing, because I was just totally operating off of false ego. And finally, I just remember saying in my mind, I did not verbalize it, saying in my mind so loudly, no one will ever take a book today. It's the place, you know, it's not me. And immediately, the guy that I just approached, that totally blew me off, stopped in his tracks immediately, came right up to me, said, give me a book. I'm like, all right, here you go. And I asked for donation. He gave me money. I thought, I figured it all out now, and now I know how to distribute books, right? You just go, no one will ever take a book in your mind. Nobody heard it. And then immediately another guy stopped in his tracks, but slower, like not as quickly as abruptly, and came over slowly and took a book. So I'm like, yeah, I think I got this now. Yeah, I know how to control Krishna now. This is how you do book distribution. And I tried it again, and it didn't work anymore. So Krishna's the ultimate controlling factor. This is one person that was so puffed up. I mean, I'm most puffed up, but this one person was really puffed up, figured, I'll show you guys how to distribute books. This is, you know, just like Jyodhan is thinking, I know how to do this. I was a salesman for 12 years. I know how this goes. Give me the books, man. You're having such a little thing. You're having such a tough time with it. Yeah, let me show you. And same thing. He couldn't even approach anybody. They would move as he would move to them, you know. Krishna's controlling the whole situation. Finally got so exhausted, he leans up against the pole and just like is worn out. Tries for this like a half hour. And was going, what? And his mind is reeling, you know, like total insecurities and going through his head and everything, going, what the heck is going on? And this little dog comes up, looks up at him, lifts up his leg and pees on his shoe, and then kind of like laughs at him and goes away. These are true stories. These things happen. So this is not possible unless there's a person that's all-powerful controlling all these situations. And Duryodhana will soon find out about this situation, as I forgot how many millions of people on his side are annihilated. And not difficultly annihilated either. He just empowers Arjuna and many others, and they just slaughter them. You know? I mean, it's described, I think, I forgot which battle it was, that the demons were so, I mean, when the demons fight, whatever, the different armies fight Krishna, not one person on Krishna, I don't know about this battle, but other battles, not one member on Krishna's side was injured at all. Not one. None didn't have any difficulty. Right? So Brahma comes down and he sees Krishna. Let's see. Yeah, and he calls the other Brahmas. And Krishna asks, is there any, everything going okay? And they say, actually, there's no, we have no problems. Because they're on Krishna's side. There's no difficulties. We're on the right side of the fence. Just stay on the side of on the Krishna side. And there's no problem. There's zero problems. None. I have no problems in my life. Zero. I have everything I need. Right from the get-go, even from the first day I joined, I got everything I need. Here's some beads. Here's a dhoti. Here's a kirta. All right, and this is how you do that and that. Here's a songbook. Okay, good to go. I remember thinking, this is all I need. And service. I remember realizing, this is great. This is all I need. I've got everything I need. It's perfectly provided. I remember in Sankirtan, the airport, and my shoe sole came off my shoe. like flapping it, just flap, flap, flap. No, oh man, I got to go get some new shoes. And I had in my mind what kind of shoes to get. And so I'm thinking, oh man, I want to keep distributing books though. Krishna wanted me to keep distributing books too, because lo and behold, at the airport, you can't find stuff at the airport. But sure enough, like 2 seconds later, maybe it was 12 seconds later, on the curb are those exact shoes I had in my mind, exact shoes sitting on the curb. Ah, how convenient. Everything is provided immediately by Krishna for his service. Everything's provided. But if we go outside of Krishna's service, immediately one impediment after another impediment after another impediment. And the whole day gets wasted. And you get frustrated and you get angry. Right? So this is the life of Dhritarashtra and company, or Arjuna and company. There's just two different ball games. It's just simply one is making that prayer, Krishna, my only prayer is to remain a pure devotee at your lotus feet birth after birth. It's the only prayer. Only want Krishna Bhakti, Prema Bhakti. I only want pure love of you, Krishna. I only want your pure devotional service. That's it. Nothing more. You literally get Krishna, the goal of life. Now, I said earlier that you can't control Krishna, but you can control Krishna in a sense by purely loving him. He's controlled by pure love only. So that's, if you want to be the supreme controller, if you want to control the supreme controller, that's your motive. Why not go for that? Of course, you'll get rid of the evil part of that motive along the way. But that's the only solution. The only solution. There's not another solution. There's not another, if I could just get, that something or other, everything will be okay. It's a trick. It's a trick. Every time. Every time. Just turns into a mirage. Just you think, I'm almost there. No, but you just make that turn. Okay, I'm just going to go for pure. I'm just going to make that prayer that Lord Chaitanya prays, that Lord Chaitanya, Krishna himself, wants to experience the greater bliss than he gets, that he sees in his servitors. He wants to experience that bliss that's even greater than what he experiences. That's how perfect of a God we have, that he gives us more bliss than he gets by serving him. So he comes down to want to experience this, and he's teaching us what to pray. Any comments or questions? We go to 8:15 or 8:25? 8:20, thank you. Any comments or questions? Yes, Krishna Bhagavan Prabhu, the most wonderful guide and helper and person that can nicely, qualifiedly, help run a program. It's so wonderful. You all are so fortunate. I just wanted to share that. I lived in the van with him for years. We kind of get to know each other's character, Really. Can't get a better combo, maybe in the whole world, than Krishna Bhagavan and Dhanavir Goswami. Just letting you know that you are so perfectly, wonderfully situated. Really. I don't think it's possible. I don't think it is. You probably can't get that in the whole world. Maybe at some super temple or something. Maybe you can match it. Maybe. Yes, Prabhu. Sorry about that. But glorifying devotees feels so good.
It's all Maharaja's mercy, for sure.
Very true.
So you made the point about if one wants to control Krishna, if that's their motive, and it might have some evilness in it, but they'll get purified if they go for it. I find myself understanding that I don't have pure motives to serve Krishna. I might be motivated for different things, and that kind of, sometimes it makes me inert, like, okay, I'm gonna try to adjust and just go for just what Krishna wants and just to please Krishna. But it almost seems like I'm not at that level yet. So then I get a little stunned and not knowing what to do about it. So, like, for example, let's say I'm cooking and I want to make something that pleases Krishna. I don't necessarily know, how to do that, make some preparation that will actually Krishna likes and all that. But I know if I make cookies, which I like, for Krishna, I'll do a really good job at it, generally. So, but then if I'm thinking, okay, well, let me just try to please Krishna and make this other thing, which I may not do very well at. I don't know how good of an example that was, but I don't know. I'm just wondering, like, sometimes I become a little hesitant to perform some activity because I'm thinking, I don't have a pure motive with this. I would like to just do this just to please Krishna, but I'm not at that level, so I'm feeling like, I'm not exactly sure what to do. Do you know what I'm trying to ask?
Yeah. Go forward. Go. Just keep on the program. Just stay on the program, and gradually, we purify our heart, and it becomes more and more pure. I mean, Dhruva Maharaj, he had the same experience, and I'm kind of embarrassed to say my goal, because I was always like, let me try to get a gold medal in the Olympics, let me get my PhD, these kind of mundane things. But so when I was new, I knew that in me. There was a drive. So, and I, reading Prabhupada's books, I said, okay, let's crank these books out. And you look at the scores, the world records. Oh, okay, well, this is perfect for me. Let me just try to become the biggest distributor ever, and that no one ever will ever be able to do bigger than me ever, forevermore. That was my motive. But I knew it was messed up, but I knew that was my drive, and gradually I knew that ill part of that motive. No, actually, Navina Nirada Prabhu says, use everything as fuel. So this is exactly what I did. I used that as fuel to please Krishna. So this will be my driving factor to get out tons of books, and that will really please Krishna. Or I can be falsely renounced and go, no, I don't need that motive. I would have distributed probably 1/10 as many books, which wouldn't have pleased Krishna as much. Right? So I'm going to take that conditioning that I have and apply it for Krishna. Just put that hot, whatever, that iron rod in the fire, and it becomes fire. So whatever our conditioning is, we use everything as fuel. We just use it in Krishna's service. And sure enough, by Krishna's arrangement only, gradually things were arranged and I could just really crank. And it felt great. And Krishna was extremely happy about the whole thing. Extremely happy. It was great. And honestly, now I'm thinking, I don't know if I want to beat that top guy now. Maybe I should stop reporting my scores. But part of me goes, forget that. So anyway, whatever, I'll work it out. But either way, it doesn't really matter because, I'll respect. My guru says we're not trying to beat another person. That's not a Vaishnava mood. And I'm like, oh, okay, whoops. All right, let me adjust. Okay, I'll adjust. I'll make that the topmost thing. I won't let that other thing override that, my guru's principle. And as long as we keep doing things like that, we're good. You dovetail everything, and there's one way you can be number one to help other people become number one, and you become number 10. That's even better. I'd even prefer that. I hope everybody does more books than me. That would be even better. But I want to do huge. So I just dovetailed it, and tried to keep it honest and scientific and not let the false ego override the pure thing. So as best as you can. But again, just dovetail it. Dovetail your propensity. Make 50 billion wonderful pizzas for us. Yeah. Please all the devotees. We'd love it. I'm just kidding about that. But yeah, whatever it is, just try to use everything as fuel. Don't be falsely renounced, though. This is the killer. I've seen it with devotees. Not everybody, of course, but some devotees, they just falsely renounce. And that's even worse than just driving with your, much worse than driving, because you do so much more. You basically do practically nothing at being the falsely renounced program. Be honest with yourself and just dovetail in Krishna's service. That's it. Gradually, we're going to get purified. Is that okay? Keep the wheels going, though. See, you have to keep the wheels going. It's your conditioning. And if you stop those wheels and just be all intellectual about it and this and that, and not get anything done, that's not going to please Krishna. And I've seen that. Those people have a tough time. So I'm glad I just went, okay, let me just crank it. Krishna arranged it all. Any other comments or questions? Bhaskarananda Prabhu? Bhaskarananda Prabhu ki jai. Wonderful, wonderful soul. Sacrifices his time and energy and money to help make this Krishna consciousness spread all over the world. To please Dhanavir Goswami, what a wonderful disciple. It obviously shows, he invites you in your house even, feeds you so nicely, provides so much funds to help spread Krishna consciousness to please Dhanavir Maharaj. Bhaskarananda Prabhu ki.
So Prabhu, you were telling about when things happen in our favor, then we see it as a Krishna's mercy. But always things don't turn into our favor. So that time we may get, we may have something, but it doesn't take place, or, So how do you handle in those kind of situations?
I missed, there was a creaking, no offense, but I didn't hear the last part of it. Sorry about that. I can hear you if you speak. Don't always happen the way we want it to happen? Is that what you're saying?
Turn into our favor.
Right.
So how do you handle in that situations?
Yeah, Vaishnava always thinks that I deserve worse. By Krishna's mercy, Krishna's given me so much mercy, but I deserve worse. Let's use Bhakti Avatar as a nice example. Wonderful soul, comes out on Sankirtan, really wants to do book distribution, had the most pleasant, wonderful experience. I mean, it totally blew my mind. 2 weeks just walking from the temple to the school, and people are taking books like anything for 2 weeks. And then coming back, have a morning program, prasadam, morning, and go for lunch and get more prasadam, dinner prasadam. It was the ultimate experience. And people were so nice and intelligent and taking books and were sincerely interested. And then, okay, yeah, this is cool. I like this. And then, it was 70 degrees out. 70. Okay. Now, the last week, then all of a sudden we have a temperature shift from probably dropped 40 degrees. We had a high of 34 this week, I think, a high. And not to mention 18 miles an hour winds. So you could go, yowza, how do we deal with this? But, as I mentioned to him, I think Krishna's testing you. Do you really want to distribute these books? Of course, it could be anything, but does Krishna contest you? And he definitely does on book distribution. Do you really? I mean, it's pretty much, I've done services, but that's the main one. So you can tell he's obviously testing you. Do you really want to please me? Do you really want to hang in there with this? Are you willing to go through this and that and that and that and this? And if once you say, yeah, no matter what, 100%, like Radharani, Lord Chaitanya's last Shikshastika verse, no matter what, you can, do whatever you want to me, but you're forever my worshipable Lord. I will stay with your service and I will love you purely forever. period, regardless of anything, no matter what. In hell forever, getting slaughtered left and right, whatever it is, no matter what. Psychological, go obliterate me, fine. No matter what, you're not going to budge from that, no matter what. Then all those impediments and everything else turn into things that serve you instead of harming you. That's the only way to solve that problem. Is you make a vow that you'll never budge from that situation forever. And everything, then you see everything is Krishna's perfect mercy. Perfect mercy. And when we're surrendered, everything is Krishna's, is not material nature working on you. It's Krishna's, is directly dealing with you. So when you appreciate, then your spiritual potency increases. And when you don't, it decreases. So intellectually knowing this, and there's always say, thank you, Krishna. This is perfect. This is perfect. Every moment of every day. A perfect, perfect gift from Krishna. And Krishna couldn't give you a better gift at every single moment. Forever. And always appreciating that. And reciprocating back by continuing to try to please him. Keeping that mentality under all circumstances. Then there's no issues. There are no impediments at that point. None. You don't see anything as any problem whatsoever. None. Zero. That's the only way to solve the problem. Because everything else, any material adjustment will just be like moving in quicksand. I forgot who was describing this. Something about temperatures. Oh God, I can't remember. I'm sorry. Maybe I'll remember it. Sorry. Some one devotee was describing the incredible, difficult circumstance, and he found that if he just served the problem, I'll speak for myself. Phoenix, Arizona, summertime. It's probably 112 out, maybe 108. It's almost rarely under 100 during the day. I'm kind of not so smart. I'm not even in the shade. I don't know. I just wanted to serve Krishna. I wasn't thinking like that. And so I just set up the table and distributing books, and people were like, how are you handling this? Why don't you get in the shade or something? And I didn't even notice it until they said it. And once they said it, I became conscious of it, and then it almost obliterated me. So I remember just, you don't think like this. What does it say? The happiness and distress, or like the coming and going winter summer seasons. We need to tolerate these. They appear from sense perception. One must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. So don't allow your senses to go external. Stay in that internal absorption. And by getting there, how do we get there? By serious sadhana. Keep your intoxication. Keep your spiritual intoxication. Prabhupada says we all must be intoxicated. Make it the spiritual intoxication. Literally drunk. A drunk doesn't notice the temperature, doesn't notice impediments. He's fine. That guy out there partying away, he's got no problems. He's intoxicated. So we need to have that same thing. You gotta know our they know they're intoxicated. Oh, I'm starting to wear off. I better smoke this and drink that. And a couple more of those, and okay, everything's good now. So similarly, go through our spiritual. I got to chant another round. Oh boy, man, give me that book. I need another page. Okay. Here we go. Yes, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Keep the intoxication going. Otherwise, the senses will look externally. And then, again, it's the program that never works. Duryodhana's program.
Thank you.
Thank you for tolerating me. Any other comments or questions? But the forevermore thing really works. Forevermore, no matter what. It's like, okay, all right, okay. You win. You passed the test. Yes, Prabhu. And this wonderful soul, my goodness, we were distributing books at Oklahoma State or one of those things, a school in Oklahoma. And all of a sudden this person comes up and his energy was like so far out. I went, this is going to be an incredible experience. I just knew right away. And he comes up and just goes, I can't remember the exact specifics, but just, wow, are you like a devotee or something like that? I'm like, and he just said something, he sensed something. And I sensed something with him, like anything. Like, it was like, wow. And then it turns out after like 5 minutes of talking to him, he says he applied for the Bhakti program here. I'm like, what the heck? Are you serious? What? And the energy was just like, okay, this person's already a devotee or just whatever. And I just asked him, well, would you like to go there now? And sure, yeah. Got in the van, grabbed his stuff, and never left. He's not crazy. This guy's really smart. Really smart. I mean, super smart, actually. Remember all those questions he started asking when we first arrived? We were all like looking at each other like, who the heck is this guy? Wow. Really? Super amazing. Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you so much. I want to know more about artificial renunciation. I don't really understand that, and I've been warned against it multiple times. So I don't really know how to identify in myself.
Well, it's as we get to know ourselves, we kind of know what we can handle. Like if you ask me to sleep 2 hours and eat one meal a day that's really tiny, and chant 108 rounds a day, I'm going to break. I'm not going to do it. I'm just not going to do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. I know myself. Maybe I can work up to that someday. Maybe that's quite a lot. But right now, no. So admitting that and going, well, I got my service. I have my service to do. And I need something for that service. And I need these things for that service right now, for me now. Maybe 20 years. Actually, kind of been blowing my mind. Usually I need about 7.5 hours of sleep for my service. And I used to fall asleep every day at the table around 1 o'clock. Just nodding off. Sometimes I'd almost fall over off the ground and stuff like that. And for like a half an hour, and struggle with it because nobody was there to give me a break or whatever. I'd be out alone. And, but I don't know, there's been a shift. I need much less sleep. So I don't know, Krishna made some arrangement. So just admitting where we're at, and you got your service. Your guru has given you a service. You do that service. You're attached to the service and what you need to get that service done. Then you're not being falsely renounced. If you put renunciation before your service, then it becomes false renunciation. For example, met a lot of devotees. Oh, I don't need to eat so much. I just eat a little bit, and because I'm so renounced, I'm greater than you, because you're eating a huge bowl of oatmeal. And I'm just passing it up and having a grape. Yep. I am great, and I'm greater than you. Now it's time to go out on book distribution. I had Prabhu, I'm sick. I'm too weak today. I can't do it. While the guy who ate the huge bowl of oatmeal is cranking out tons of books. This is so obviously which one's false renunciation and which one's the intelligent person that's doing what he needs for devotional service. Now, if you have 7 bowls of oatmeal and you can't go out, then you're not. The whole purpose of this is being attached to your service and doing it nicely. And doing whatever it takes. Somebody asked Prabhupada, how much does a driver need to sleep? How much can he sleep? Because, Prabhupada says, sleep this much or whatever. And he says, you sleep 10 hours a day. So how renounced is that? I mean, not that I sleep 10 hours a day, but I mean, if you need it to drive safely, okay. So the point is you got your service, and you just do whatever it is for your service. You're attached to the service. Then there won't be any false renunciation. Is that cool? John. If you put something in front of that, then that's the problem. Yeah. Is that okay? Any other comments or questions? Oh, it's past time. Thank you for tolerating me. Sorry you didn't get to hear much of the purports. Do recommend everybody to read Prabhupada's books at least an hour a day on the average. That's what Prabhupada wanted. And then we'll have this incredible understanding. From that, everything will work out. We'll be reminded how important this life is. We'll see it from a spiritual perspective. We'll get the proper perspective. We'll be able to maintain healthy relationships with one another. We'll be able to go back home to Godhead most easily, most blissfully. Thank you very much for tolerating me. Wish you all the very best. Thank you for allowing me to have your nice association. It's such a nice experience. Thank you again. Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Gaur Premanandi.